I think we can all agree that if there was one thing that could make it easier for us to lose weight, stick to a diet, or just generally be more mindful of our health, that would be an amazing thing to have. And well, I'm here to tell you that there is. In today's video, we're going to talk about 4 things that you can keep in your bag or your desk drawer to help curb cravings and hunger when they strike. No, fruit slices. This might seem like a pretty obvious one, but before you click off this video and think you already know everything, hear me out because there are some specific fruits that will serve you better than others. So first of all, let's talk about why fruit is so good for you when you feel a craving coming on. One reason is that fruit is super hydrating, which is really important for satiety. Sometimes we mistake thirst for hunger, and so drinking something like a glass of water isn't going to really fill us up, but eating a juicy piece of fruit will. Additionally, fruit has natural sugar in it, which can activate the sweetness receptors on our tongues and kind of trick our brains into thinking that we having dessert when really we eating a healthy snack. This can be especially useful if you're trying to curb a chocolate craving or maybe a craving for something sweet. Finally, fruit contains fiber, which again contributes to satiety, but it also helps prevent blood sugar spikes. So not only does it keep you full, it keeps you full without spiking your insulin levels and leaving you feeling hungry an hour later. Now that leads us to what type of fruit is going to be most effective for cravings. My top pick is going to be something high in fiber, low in sugar, and hydrating. Some great options here are watermelon, cantaloupe, berries, apples, and pears. Of course, any fruit can fit into a balanced diet, but these ones will just leave you feeling more satisfied while still providing that natural sweetness that can help curb cravings. Another way to make fruit even more satisfying is to pair it with protein or healthy fat. For example, if you're having an apple, add a tablespoon of almond butter to it, or if you're having berries, try adding some Greek yogurt. Okay, no. 2 is actually another snack that I recommend keeping in your bag at all times, yogurt. Now we've talked about yogurt before, and it's a snack that I've been eating consistently for over 7 years now. You can learn more about that in my 7-year yogurt story video. But essentially plain non-fat Greek yogurt is an amazing snack for a lot of reasons. It's high in protein, which is great for satiety, but it's also high in calcium, which has been shown to reduce fat and cravings. The mechanism behind this isn't totally clear, but studies do show a relationship between consuming more calcium and a subsequent decrease in calorie intake throughout the day. Plus, there's something nice about eating a cold, creamy texture when you're craving something sweet. It kinda hits the spot in a similar way to ice cream or soft serve ice cream. To make it taste even better, try adding in some chopped fruit, a drizzle of honey, or some granola. Alright, next up we have nuts. Nuts are another great snack to keep in your bag because they are highly satiating. They contain both protein and healthy fats which contribute to satiety, and they also contain fiber. Pair those 3 macronutrients with the fact that nuts are super filling because of their unique combination of amino acids and fatty acids, and you have yourself a snack that has gonna keep cravings away for hours. Walnuts, almonds, and pistachios are all great options, but if you're trying to save calories, I would recommend sticking to unsalted nuts that you can measure out into small portions. If you buy pre-portioned bags of trail mix or other nut mixes, you might be getting more calories than you think. Also watch out for added sugars and oils in flavored nuts or sweet and salty mixes because those can really rack up the calories. If you're craving something salty, try pairing your nuts with some whole grain crackers. And speaking of crackers, that brings us to number 4, whole grain crackers. When it comes to fighting cravings, the key is to have a variety of snacks on hand that satisfy different types of cravings. A sweet craving can be taken care of by fruit or yogurt. A salty craving can be taken care of by nuts or crackers. And if you happen to have a crunch craving, then whole grain crackers are going to be your best friend. There are so many different brands and flavors of whole grain crackers. Nowadays that you'll definitely be able to find one that you like. I personally love the whole grain Triscuits, but Wassa and Back to Nature are two other brands that I've tried and enjoyed. If you do go with Triscuits though, please check the label because sometimes they have added sugar. The original flavor does not, but that doesn't mean all of them don't. Just be aware. I also recommend adding a little bit of hummus or nut butter to your crackers to make them extra filling and extra tasty. So there you have it. 4 simple things that you can keep with you at all times to help combat cravings and hunger when it strikes. And remember, if you have a specific craving for something like chocolate, try to have a healthy alternative on hand. For example, if you're craving chocolate, grab some dark chocolate with at least 70% cocoa. Or if you're craving ice cream, try some frozen yogurt. Having a healthy alternative on hand can be really helpful because it allows you to indulge your sweet tooth without derailing your healthy eating goals. Now, before we end this video, I want to talk briefly about the difference between hunger and cravings. Because sometimes when we think we're hungry, we're actually craving something specific. And if we have that specific thing, we'll feel satisfied. But if we don't, no amount of that specific thing is going to satisfy us. For example, if you think you're hungry but really what you're craving is pizza, then eating a salad probably won't satisfy you. However, if you eat the pizza, you'll probably feel satisfied. On the other hand, if you think you're hungry but really what you're craving is specifically a carrot, then no amount of carrots will satisfy you. But eating something else, maybe like a banana or some nuts, probably will. So I guess what I'm getting at is that when you feel hunger, ask yourself, am I actually hungry or am I craving something specific? If you're craving something specific, then try to find a healthy alternative to that food. But if you are actually hungry, then eat something that will fill you up and keep you satisfied until your next meal. As always, I hope that you're having a wonderful week and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.